Yasir Qadhi unleashed a nice tweet yesterday, and we're going to go over it. Yasir Qadhi writes on his Twitter, "By the way, I'm all for reform, hence I explicitly argue that we should ban underage marriages and have called for reform in divorce and alimony laws, but they need to be within hermeneutical paradigm given to us by our faith. Usul al-fiqh allows changes, but within a system." And he's discussing with a Turkish Mutazilat in here, a rational thinker of Islam. When he talks about the system of usul al-fiqh and the Sharia and being Sunni, he means that he's constricted and limited when it comes to this issue. A lot of Western critics of Islam, and along with Muslims, when they hear this word reform, they get skeptical, and rightfully so. There have been many reformers in the past that tried to collect your money, and no change was done in the Muslim world. I'm even skeptical of it. But what I think is a good thing is that he's thinking in this direction. Someone like Yasir Qadhi, who went to the University of Medina, the heartland of hardline Salafi thinking. And for him to go over to Yale and acquire Western knowledge and Western academia, I think it's a good move. I could sit here and praise Yasir Qadhi all day. For example, he wants to embrace all interpretations of Islam. I think he should have a conversation with Mufti Abu Layth. I think that would be a very interesting discussion. But putting all that, to me, that's just entertainment value. I want to get to the core issue.
Do you believe in having sex with 9-year-old children?
Do you want to get into this now?
Yes. Do you? Do you? Do you?
Me personally?
Yes.
I personally wouldn't.
Did Muhammad have sex with a 9-year-old child?
A lot of Muslim men are put on the spot when it comes to this issue, but we never question Muslims' women's part. We don't question the aunties and the mommies that send their daughters overseas to marry some older guy who's in their 40s or 50s, and they're only 17 years old, only 16 years old, only 15 years old. I want to show you what happens in the very next second. This guy was put to the question, would you do it with a 9-year-old if you were married?
The girls here, they're having sex. The girls here, they're having sex. When they are 11, 10, they're getting
that's
pregnant.
Different. We can't.
When they are 11, 10, they're getting
that's
pregnant.
Different. We can't.
Yeah.
I give that guy a lot of credit for him to just hold her and say, hey, you can't really say that. This is not the argument that we're talking about here. She's trying to justify it by saying, oh, the 10 and 11-year-old girls out there, they're having premarital sex anyways. And this is what I call the Muslim family excuse. This is the mindset that a lot of Muslims have to justify that, Muhammad did the right thing by marrying Aisha when she was young, because you know what? You go into today's Western society, they're gonna, see the wrong things and hang out with the wrong people, and we have to protect them. They're gonna be influenced to go have sex at an early age of 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. I know it sounds absurd to some people, but this is the mindset that we're dealing with.
Shouldn't be a shock to you. Shouldn't be a shock to you.
Sorry?
Biologically, it means they can't children.
A child who...
No, but I mean biologically, if you take out conditioning and everything, when somebody starts to menstruate, that means that they're able to have children.
Comparing whether, teenagers go out and have premarital sex to an idea that you should marry your daughter off to some stranger that's established in their 30s and 40s. They have financial power and control over this young, undeveloped mind is a totally different thing. So when Muslims tell me, oh, the marriage of Aisha and Muhammad was political, I'm telling them you're given the green light for those marriages in Yemen, in which Yemeni girls suffer from fistula. It's a real condition. Look it up. After they're pregnant and they go through the giving birth process, they have difficulty using the restroom, and they're scarred. Some of them even die after giving birth. And for you to justify your fantasy in your mind, you're not seeing what reality is.
Property. So you are allowed to, in Islam, you are allowed to use them. It's you are allowed to, because it's your property.
Just in case it wasn't clear in that clip, she was saying it's okay for them to use us. We're property. And this is the passive mindset. A lot of people like to tackle, oh, you're a perverted guy, you want to go marry a 9-year-old and blah, blah, blah. But we should really be tackling this issue of the passiveness of the Muslim woman. And I don't know how Yasir Qadhi is going to bypass this, going with the Sunni traditional texts, because definitely constrained and constricted because of the overall misogynistic tone.
If you want to belittle it, you want to make fun of it, you don't want to show it the respect it deserves, the Muslim community has to hold you accountable, akhi.
Then you have the outside dynamic of this, where you have Muslims upset. They've always wanted you to only speak good about Islam or shut up. This is the principle that they've always lived by. And now our culture with liberalism is adopting the same principles. They're saying, censorship or speak good, which is not a good thing. We want free speech. So if Mufti Abu Layth and Yasir Qadhi were to have a conversation about this topic, for example, they would receive a lot of backlash from the Muslim community, because the Muslims would be saying, oh, they're generalizing all Muslims, even though it's true. There's a big part of the Muslim world that participate in child marriages, and I think ex-Muslims and Muslims can work together to fix this issue. You would receive a lot of backlash from the Muslim community, because they would be like, oh, they're generalizing all Muslims, they're speaking bad about Muslims, they should be silenced, and they're sellouts, and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know how this thing is going to work. So wrapping this video up, Yasir Qadhi, I give you a lot of credit. I'm not going to fall for the reformer thing, really. I mean, if you can change the attitudes of Muslims, which I've been saying for like a decade, that would be great. That's more important than like making a new Islam. I don't agree with the reformer thing and, oh, you can change it, blah, blah, blah. You have to change the attitudes of Muslims. You have to let them know that, hey, science disagrees with you on the issue of child marriage. That's the way you should go about it, Yasir Qadhi. I don't think you're going to be able to do it with the text. But you guys, leave a comment down below. Like the video. I don't know if I'll be here as much. I'll put a link to my Twitter. You can follow me there. I've been more active on there because I feel like you can just... Bam, 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 bam. All right, guys. Take care. Bye.